and welcome back to the Frame100 Podcast. It is me, Tom. I'm back. Chris is with me, and we've got some very special guests this week. Chris, you wanna introduce our guests?
Absolutely. So, oh, hang on a second. Oh wow, the echo got really bad there for a second, and I'm like, why are we all saying the same things we just said earlier? Not kidding. But we have two guests here from the one and only Brack. Here to help us figure out what's up with this whole 8x8x8 thing. We have Maxou and MBStudio. How you guys doing?
Hi.
Fine.
I'm
good.
Too.
And for the record, and I mentioned this before we went live on the air, those T-shirts. Those are great T-shirts.
Yeah.
I wear this every week just to trigger Trevor, but those are actually...
Do you want to see the back of the T-shirt?
Absolutely.
Back.
Model those things.
Damn, that's cool. Chris, they're showing us up. We gotta get some Frame100 tops, man.
That is true. I think I did a prototype sometime, but I can't remember how they turned out.
In school, we want to get like Trevor's face on the back. That would be good.
A knowledge shirt. I want it.
Yeah.
All right. And quick shout outs to people who are in the chat. Let's see, 8-Bit Soda, Trevor, you get over here. Get your butt over here.
8-Bit Soda, it's a big week for you. It's a big week with a name like that.
Absolutely. And then we have Caleb and good old Spudson, Star Wars Studio 100. Dang it, Weasel. Welcome. Thank you guys for showing up. You may be wondering why there's only 2 hosts and 2 guests. Well, it's because we decided to start a war. We want to make things fair.
Okay.
No, Austin's out of town. Matt is doing some stuff with a local lug. And then Jared was doing something productive, and Trevor was just making excuses. So
Yeah. He's all excuses, that kid.
Oh, okay. That's a
here
valid
we go.
excuse.
Working on my 8x8x8. Yeah, okay.
Speaking of which, that's a good transition. So, as some of you guys may know, the 8x8x8 contest is happening on Brack. It's coming close to getting finished. So if you haven't started, start now. You might make it.
Yes, you've got something like 30 hours to finish your entries.
Oh, it's like Thack and 8x8 put together.
Yes, it's that.
Got the Thack by Thack by Thack. Yep. But fortunately, if you are just starting now and you're looking at those 30 hours and you're just freaking out, you're in luck because we asked 2 of Brack's 8x8x8 veterans to give us some tips and tricks. So, some questions I wrote down here. So the first question I want to start off with is the 8x8x8 contest. When was the idea for it created, and what was the inspiration behind it?
I start, Maxou?
Yeah, you can start. Let's go.
Let's go. The contest was created in 2010 by Storm. It was a member of Brack, the first version of the website. Apparently, the members really liked this little contest, and since then, it happens every year. I don't know if there was a source of inspiration for this contest. I just think that members searched an idea of contest to have fun and have a big challenge to take up.
Yeah. The goal is to build something, to create a break film in a limited space. So it's why the 8x8 was born.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed it this year because, like for the other big contests like Thack and Brawlin and whatnot, they all deal in limited time.
Yes.
But this is a really nice fresh change in limited space, and you actually have to really think about it because it's a lot of opportunity to be creative, I think.
Yes, it changed of the contest that we are usually. Yeah.
And I have a fun fact. For the first edition, the contest was named 8x8, not 8x8x8.
Yes.
So that's the area.
Limited higher.
So it's funny.
So did he have people going higher than eight bricks on that?
No. I think in the first edition, a lot of people make a break film in the 8x8x8 space, and we change the name after that.
Oh, okay. So it's different name, but same rules, though. Because I could see someone taking advantage of that. They have their 8x8 by like 100. Whoa! Read the rules. Which, while we're talking areas and volumes, it might be a little obvious, but it might not be. But what would you say is the most challenging part of the 8x8 or making an 8x8 entry?
I think it's to making something different, because it's the 8th edition of the contest, and we already saw a lot of things, and I think it's a bit complicated to find something different to create a new break film, because a lot of people use the same, or they play with the 8x8 space, or they hide the 8x8 and create an original break film in the area, but it's a bit always the same thing. So I think the biggest challenge is to create something different.
Yes, for me the most challenging part of creating an 8x8 entry is to animated Legos in such small space. Usually, personally, I put big sets with lots of Legos and a lot of space. Animation take a lot of time, and I'm a bit claustrophobic, so I don't like animate in a small space.
I can imagine.
I like to have place to spread out and create things, and it's easier to animate in a big place than in a 8x8x8 set. So for me, the most difficult part is the animation.
Well, you seem to pull it off. Like your latest entry, Discovery, which was that was really cool, man. Great job.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yep. And it seems like you really managed to find a way to stay in the rules, but with the way you did the effects and the backgrounds, it didn't feel as small as most entries, which that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how long did it take to do the effects for Discovery?
For Discovery, I made all the break film in only 48 hours in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So the visual effects were pretty simple. I just take one afternoon to make the planet, to incrust it in the background, to find the good templates. The visual effects were not the most difficult part of the challenge.
We are a good break filmer in the French part.
Yeah, you guys know your stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the different tricks and stuff you do are really impressive. Like, man, Tom, you gotta talk with MB about effects, and I wish Matt was here. I think you guys have so much fun.
Yeah. I just Chris just directed me in the direction of your oh goodness, I've lost it now. What was it called, Chris? It was like
I'll quickly grab it. It was one of your Star Wars effects tests, which was
on him film. That was really cool to see. I love watching behind the scenes videos. I love it. It's good. Yeah, no, it was it's good. It was good. I like the way you made the planet. Actually, that was very, very ingenious.
I used the same way to do the planet. So I just changed the color of the planets, but it was the same template to do it.
Okay, nice.
It's for that it was fast, because the original planet take long of time before the 8x8 when I created for the demonstrations, and it's difficult to find the good elements in GIMP, because I'm not using Photoshop. So in GIMP, to do that, it takes long of time. What's the name for that? The software is difficult to use. I think most difficult than Photoshop.
Yeah, what software is it? because I don't recognize it. And I know when I did a planet for Valley Girl in Space, I just made a Lego one and threw it in Photoshop.
I don't have lots of bricks, so build a planet with Lego bricks can be very difficult for me.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm on limited supply.
You got a great collection.
Ah, well, thank you. Right. So, kind of building off of that, what would you say is the most enjoyable part of the 8x8x8, and why would you say that? Actually, that last part sounded like really accusing. Why would you say that? What would you say is the funnest part?
The funnest part? Maxim, you're not a brick filmer, so you don't know what's the best part for that. Maybe for you it was to coding the website to create the 8x8 topic, the 8x8 thread. I don't know. For me, the most enjoyable part of the 8x8x8 is the video editing, because in every big films that I make, this is for me the best part. Animation take a lot of times, asking patience, and I'm not very patient. And when I finish the animation, it's just amazing. Put your scenes on the software, and you see your toys taking life. They're moving without help and alone, and that's the part that I prefer. For me, it's very funny to see that.
Nice. Yeah, that's just awesome.
Nice,
So, yeah, I've seen some of your other editing projects as well. That definitely seems to be your strength. Although one thing I do like across a lot of your films, and I could kind of see in the 8x8, you do this really cool mix of practical and digital effects. Like in your Star Wars VFX demonstration, like the cotton smoke and the digital laser blasts. And Discovery, just the way you do like the outside colors of space, and then you have the lighting across the bricks, blue and red. So I could definitely see where where your animation
for the lights.
Yep.
For the lights, I've got a technique which is unknown. I'm using this sort of how do you say that? Sorry, I don't have the word for that. Innocent. It's something which is doing music with Bluetooth. What?
Oh, like one of those light up Bluetooth speakers?
Yes, it's that. It's a Bluetooth speaker, and
okay,
that is so creative.
Doing lots of lights. You've got blue, you've got pink, you've got turquoise, cyan, green, yellow, white, red.
Really cool.
It's amazing.
Wow.
You can put
That
it.
is so
It's
creative.
not too big, and I got two speakers. So at Christmas, and so for the setting, I just put them next to each other.
Next to it, yeah.
Wow, that is
that's
honestly the most creative lighting setup I've heard of yet. I mean, everyone does lamps, and then these guys, they won't stop talking about brick stuff lights, but I love that. That's so ingenuitive.
That was good, yeah. Yeah, yeah, very clever.
Which wow, all these questions and answers just keep segueing into each other. It's great. What would you say is the most creative 8x8 project you've seen? And Max, considering that you have been judging and helping organize the entries, I'm sure you've got a few in mind.
I really like a really old entry. I think it's 2 years ago. The entry of Tip Motion. It's a man in a box, and he walk, and the box I don't.
Like it rotates or flips
yeah,
over?
Yeah, and the box rotate, and I think it's.
Oh, that is so cool.
It's really funny to see it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can picture what you're saying.
That's great. Yeah,
I gotta look that up now.
It's the first brick film I saw when he correctly used the 8x8x8 rules to make something different. Because a lot of people just build something and create a brick film in the area, and he used the area to do another thing, and I think it's really
for me it's that the most creative part of an 8x8 participation. It's the fact to use the rules to change it and to propose something different. I don't really like apart the one of Chris, I don't really like the big film with just comment dire a plaque, je sais pas. Just the ground, with just the 8x8 ground and no sets. But the one of Chris is funny because you've got the digital music specters behind.
It took so long.
Yes, sure. For me, the most creative entry of the 8x8 is the entry of this year, if you saw it, of Brickfield 54.
See if I can find it here on the list.
Is that the one with the fish where the floor moves?
No, it's the one
here we are.
in a starship. It's called Les Étoiles Bleues, the blue stars in English. And
you
it's
guys
a French entry.
shared this in the chat. Yeah, let's see. I pulled up that one and I pulled up the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and link these on the chat right now so everyone can see them. So here's the first one from Tip Motion. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is the one where it's the rotating 8x8x8. He calls it the hamster cage. And here's the second one by Brickfield 54. Definitely check these out, guys, and support these animators because they've been doing some really cool stuff. These are the forefathers of the 8x8x8.
For the one of Brickfield, if you take a look on the making of, you'll see that this brick film asked a lot of reflection, and that Brickfield was carefully to animate correctly his Legos in order to make us forget the 8x8 cube. His entry is very creative with the zooms. It's amazing, and at the top of that, it tells us a story, And I don't like the brick films without stories, which looks like a test of animation or of visual effects. I really love the stories through the brick films.
Yeah, I can completely agree. And some like technique-based films are pretty fun, but there are a few entries where it had a story and I was just like, whoa. Like and good, he's on chat. Journey Home by Caleb. Goodness gracious. Like, how? What did you do? What did you do? It's great. It's fantastic. Keep doing it, kid. All right. So, on to the next question here. So, Brack recently added features for English-speaking brick filmers, which, audience, if you haven't gotten there yet, you need to go there. It's a great site.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, really. That.
Go on, Brick-a-Brack.
Absolutely.
Only one brick away.
Hey, that's a good motto.
Hey, those guys have got T-shirts. That's all you need. They're the real deal.
Yeah, we're working on the swag packages at some point.
Can we do better?
Yeah. But yeah, the community's just grown, and it's just been awesome seeing these two different communities of brick filmers come together.
It's amazing.
I think it's great. Yeah. I think it's really impressive. I mean, if you just take a step back and look at it, you've got the French community and the English-speaking community just getting along, watching films, making films, and it's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, and because all that's been happening, how would you say that the response has been to the 8x8x8? Like, how have people been responding to it?
I think that they responded well to the 8x8 contest. We've got a lot of entries, and they are amazing and very interesting. This year we've got a lot of entrants, a lot of participation, and more than usually, it brings the challenge more difficult and more interesting for everyone.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting because English brick filmer and French brick filmer don't have the same style of animation.
Yes.
And it's new for us. We discover new thing, new culture, new style of animation. And a lot of English members ask a question about the rules, and it's really interesting because we need to to fix the rule to keep a good contest, and year after year the contest evolved, and we are here today.
It's pretty awesome.
Yes, and it's awesome to see that French brick filmers and English brick filmers don't have the same way to make a brick film. I think that if you give to us your chives, and if we give to you our chives, it could be amazing. Build a brick film, everyone. Maybe we should do that. A big brick film, which mixing the English-speaking community with the French one.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That'd be really cool. Like that big one you did around Christmas, Chris.
Oh, like a brick film Christmas?
Yeah.
I watched that the other day.
Oh, maybe to be centered in the same story, and everyone is doing the scenes, you know.
We could do something like the brick film Olympics, where you could have different people animating different sports, and you could have like the French versus the English.
Yes, but you know that it's more versus. I don't know that. I don't like that. It could be better to do things together. You know, build a brick film together.
Project, well, even then, you got me thinking about collab projects now. And I think Thistoff is interested in another collab at some point in the future. This may be the way we do it. I always had this idea. I can't remember where I talked about this. I think it was on TPF or something. But I always thought it would be super cool where you had a whole bunch of brick filmers meet at like a warehouse or a convention center or something for like, you know, some kind of contest. And we're all in the same building. We're all animating Lego galore. You know, we're all just hanging out on a big old project. It's something like that would be fun, where we could all be in the same room and literally combine all of our knowledge into one massive project. I think that'd just be awesome.
Imagine that.
Yep. And of course, just, you know, fangirling every time you meet one of your heroes, like, oh my goodness, it's David Pagano, that kind of thing. You know, that'd be fun. Yep. So on the next question right here, what advice would you guys give to brick filmers who are still doing the 8x8x8? Or for brick filmers who may do it, you know, next year. Let's see. What's kind of advice you'd give?
Let's start. Okay. So I think the most important thing is having fun, because it's a funny contest. So just have fun. It's a good beginning. After, the biggest part is to correctly understand the rule, because we have saw this year 1 or 2 participation. It's a bit complicated. We have Lego outside the 8x8 space, things like that. So please just correctly read the rules and ask questions if needed.
Sweet. Okay. There you go, guys. Pay attention.
I've got a message for all the brick filmers of our website. For the next year, if you want to participate, continue to make videos, continue to animate your Legos for your projects, work on your animation, your creation, your stories, all of that, work on your brick film, and that's like that you're going to progress. More your brick filming, more your brick films are going to be incredible. So continue to brick film, and in order to participate next year and to do incredible entries like this year, you know, it's going to be amazing.
Sweet. That's great advice. I'm loving it.
I will cry.
Oh la la.
That's it, guys. If you make an entry so good that Maxou starts crying, then you've won. The ship in a bottle is yours.
You won the ship in a bottle. Ship in a bottle.
Yep. Which it would be really funny if I'm trying to remember, there were 2 members who did ship in a bottle. Some promo video for Lego, and they were really good brick films.
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if they did the 8x8x8 and won first place. So they ended up with 2 ships in a bottle. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that would be good.
Pretty funny. All right. Then I got a last question here looking forward. Are there any future bric-a-brac contests coming soon? And if so, can you share any details? I kind of have a rough idea, but just for everyone else.
Yeah, of course. We plan to launch another contest next week, I think.
Ooh, nice.
Small challenges.
Just, just a little challenge with a minifig. Yeah. keep calm.
Yes, we're going to make big contests, but it's in the future now. Participate in our little challenges. There are always contests on Brick-a-Brack.
So we will, and after we will launch a big contest in few weeks, maybe next month, and we have a really good plan for this summer.
Yes. Oh là là, on part sur quelque chose là. It's teasing.
A lot of teasing, yeah.
There we go. Well, we have all been teased.
There you go.
For those who don't know, can you quickly tell the audience about what you call it, the challenges, and how they can get involved with those?
Oh, we're making challenges? Is that?
Yep. Yeah, because I believe that another challenge on Brick-a-Brack's website is coming soon. Don't remember exactly when, but could you quickly explain that for people in the audience who don't know?
Okay. So a contest is just a little animation challenge. So you can create an entry in 1 or 2 hours, and it's just to work on your animation and improve it.
We give you a theme, and you've got to do an animation on the theme.
For example, we had decorate a Christmas tree for Christmas.
Yes. The last challenge was that.
Yes, the last challenge. Yeah. So it's a little theme with 2 weeks in general. So.
Yes, 2 weeks to make a brick film.
Yes,
correct.
Indeed, it's a good way to practice, and the prizes are pretty good too.
Yes, we've got minifigs for the first one.
Yeah, minifigs and Brick-a-Brack goodies.
Yes.
Indeed. I remember when Laney and Caleb were sharing their Brick-a-Brack prizes, they had pictures on TPF. I'm like, dang, there's some incentive right there.
We've got Brick-a-Brack stickers.
I need to get some of those, man. You know, I should just enter the animation challenge and then figure it out from there. Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, just mini contests like this. You know, we're wrapping up the main contest season between all of the different communities at once. But there's always little stuff like this, just practice and flesh things out. And as we're kicking into summer, there's going to be a lot more opportunities to film. So definitely do this kind of thing. Sweet. Well, that's about it for interview questions. Thanks, guys, for all that. MB, I know it's pretty late where you are, so if you want to stay around, you can stay around. If you're really tired, you need to sleep, no problem. And Max, if you're in the US, you have no excuse.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
I can stay with you, no problems.
I can stay
as you wish.
He's got coffee or Red Bull. He's good to go.
Yes, exactly. I took a coffee just before going here because I thought that it was going to spend more time than only 30 minutes. You know? I was ready to spend all my nights here.
Sweet. You were prepared, and you put it in your Lego mug, right?
Yes, my Lego mug.
Boom.
Mine is blue.
We're Lego Mug brothers. That's what we are.
With your who electric Pokemon is that?
Where did I put it?
Where is my Pikachu?
Oh, great. Hang on a second, Tom. I need to figure out where I put my what's it called? Jolteon. There we go. Okay, now I can't remember. Well, anyways.
Anyway.
There we go. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We got some cool people here in the brick film community. All right. So the next portion we're thinking of, we don't really do any brick film reviews for the week because a lot of the team was out, and Austin isn't here to yell about walk cycles, which I like that. It just makes my week work.
It's much more peaceful.
That's why I feel so quiet. So we're thinking we would go through some of the 8x8x8 entries and just talk about, some of the ones that really stood out and what we like and what we think is cool. For those of you in the audience, here's a link. Check these guys out, support them, and if your brick film isn't there, put a brick film there. It's gonna be great. All right, Tommy, you wanna lead on this one? My throat's getting a little tired.
Yeah, can do. So one of the entries I want to talk about is one of the ones early on I saw actually. I guess actually these are ordered in chronological order, aren't they? So the second entry, which is by X.Ogel, I think I might be mispronouncing that. It's called
Tom, for shame. It's Ogle. Alpha Team, man. Lego Alpha Team.
That's my bad. It's
yell at
called
you later.
Block, and for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to throw a link in the chat. It's a really, really interesting, really cool entry actually. It's basically just the story of a guy fishing, and yeah, it's Chris. It's not like me. Oh, hang on. Here we go. There
I
we
also
go.
this break film.
I bet refresh.
Going to watch it.
It's it's a really clever use of the space, I think, and actually, I believe he did it in less than 8x8. It looks to be like a 6x6 job. So
Yep, it looks like it.
I mean,
he does give himself a little bit of a margin for when things are moving around or turning.
I guess that's it. Yeah.
But all the Legos in a 6x6. So for all of you guys complaining that's too small, you can go smaller. So
There you go. Yeah.
The way he's animated his fish is very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done well there.
and
The way that the cube is reversing is very funny too.
Yeah,
it's just really
and,
impressive.
all the stuff is growing. I like it. Yeah, it's a really nice. It's a really nice use of a Luke Skywalker head as well.
Oh, one of the classic ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how it's cyclical. Like it starts the way that it ends, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's it.
It's very funny.
Definitely a highlight.
I just saw it right now. It was very good.
Yeah. Yeah, the challenge wasn't enough for him. You're right. He went for a 6x6 job with the little space. Little space.
It's really impressive. And
We're
just
going
the
to make
lighting,
a
colors.
4x4x4 contest. A 2x2x2 contest.
Yeah, minifigure just spinning.
Wait, could you even fit a minifigure in a 4x4x4?
No, you'd have to use the microfigs.
Actually, let's
Oh goodness.
here's my partial entry. Then I'll just grab. No, Wizard Bob is too big of a haircut. Let's grab my sig fig. All right. While we move on to the next,
you still got
I'm gonna
yours?
figure this thing out. Yeah, I kind of kept it together. Funny enough, when I bought Ninjago City,
They are
I
going to
got
make
it
Break
live.
live.
I want to figure out this 4x4 thing would actually work because I get distracted easily. In the meantime,
actually this is sort of it's not self-plugging, it's a little bit behind the scenes. When I came up with the idea for my entry, and I knew the set was going to move across the desk, and for anybody who's worth their weight in salt in the break film community, you know about taping down your sets, and I realized, this is a tiny 8x8 set. I can't tape that down and move it. It'll sort of jerk about too much. So what I did, you can't see because I've taken the top off, but basically I built the 8x8 ring, put a plate on top of it, and underneath I filled with blue tack. And that gave it sort of a bit of a weight when I was pushing it along the desk, and also helped to hold it down when I was moving the minifigures on top. So I was quite happy when I came up with that actually. But that's just a little maybe trick for anybody who's still animating out there.
Yeah, in fact, let's point that out. Not only did you do an 8x8x8 space, Tom, but you shifted that thing around and made it feel like it was one big scene, but we were only seeing like a small window of it, which was really impressive.
That was the aim. But that's why I checked in the chat beforehand, because I really didn't want to do like 14 hours of work and then immediately get thrown out.
Well, it's still very impressive, and some of that camera movement around the fight as well, and the effects of the lightsabers. Yeah, this is like the birthday song right now for you, Tom. This film is well done. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of good ones here. I know one of my other favorites, it's early on, is Slotborg's Hand of Fear, and I think that one was pretty cool. the lighting that he does on it. Here, I'll link this in the chat here. Lighting that he pulls off here kind of creates this super, kind of spacey dream feel, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
And the way that he uses like the transparent block to simulate things reaching into the cube without reaching out of the cube is really impressive.
Yes. I'm watching it, and the movement of the camera is very interesting too. Very interesting too. Interesting.
Oh
too.
yeah, I remember seeing this one.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Something which has never
crazy.
been done before. You're a genius.
There you go, do new things. And right here, guys, I have a little problem right here. He's just outside.
Oh
doing
no!
figures in the 4x4x4. It's a no go, guys. Can't do it.
Your Lego can't have head. Yes. Unless
I have to remove the hair, but I'm not quite sure I want this to be my new look.
I think that if I made a 4x4 participation, maybe that I could build a little robot, you know.
It doesn't work with the hair.
Space.
Yeah, like
I'm coming.
Somewhere.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, which speaking of small spaces as well, and this one's kind of deceiving the way they went about it. How to survive in the ocean. Remember, I saw some behind the scenes pictures on this one, and I love how his base plate there isn't like the solid 8x8. He kind of chops off the edges of it to kind of create this little raft effect. And just the way it comes across as an infomercial is hilarious. See if I can
Another entry I really liked was the 4 Monkeys entry. I thought that was quite clever.
That one was really out there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and they managed to chop it's like the classic problem with the minifigure. If you take the head off, it's still got the neck. And they chop off in post at the end, and actually looks quite good.
Indeed.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, it kind of creates this like apocalyptic sci-fi thing, which is pretty sweet.
I was talking to Jared about the contest earlier, and we both agreed that the standard is actually really, really high, which is great to see. Yeah, because obviously it encourages everyone to be better. And just the tricks, the little tricks coming out the woodwork from this contest is great. There's definitely a lot of takeaway lessons here.
Indeed. Yeah, no. Some people initially were skeptical, like 8x8. That's not enough room. It is. You gotta be resourceful about it.
Yeah.
Like brick filming is always about just budgeting things out. You don't get everything. You only get like parts of something. You got to work from there. Yeah.
On building something.
Up the 4x4x4 lives on.
Yeah, it's the 4x4.
Goodness gracious. Of course,
the other thing, Chris, is you need a plate for the guy to stand on. So you really would have to use short legs.
Okay, take a look on this.
Actually, let me see that, and then
it is a smart robot who respects the 4x4x4, and so I can move the 4x4x4. So I take this. It's doing 4x4x4, and maybe we can have a little road trip with this robot.
Nice, I love it.
A robot who is escaping from my bedroom and my working table.
This tiny little 4x4 set running away. I love it. Right, now we need to make this a thing. Let's hey, there's our next entry. Our next entry into the line of contests.
4x4.
Now I'm getting entirely distracted. Figure out how I would do a 4x4x4.
I never do a 4x4x4.
Of course, theoretically, now you could do 8 different 4x4s stacked up into an 8x8x8 entry.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've gone too far now. Like Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park. We spent so long asking ourselves if we could. We didn't stop to consider if we should.
That's a great
mad science here. Just looking through some of the other entries here, which speaking of Jared, and we can make fun of him because he's not here. Haha. But Purple Amour, this one, the lighting.
Yeah, I liked it.
Never so subtle. It's
I don't know if people have taken away what he's done here, but he's used the blue on the girl and the red on the guy, and then finally when there's a spark between them, he's lighting to purple, which is what you get if you mix red and blue. And I really
forever to get that part. Then when I first read the title, I thought it was Purple Armor, and I got really confused.
Yeah, so did I.
What's with the armor? This is a love story. Why is there no armor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job with it.
Yeah, I liked
it. And it's not really common to see a lot of romantic brick films. Of course, everyone immediately points to Sola Luna, which is a great film. But I'd say that this is another one where I would say, list of favorite romantic brick films. I don't even know how that works, but it works. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, let's see what else we got here. We mentioned Discovery, but dang, this one's so good.
Thanks.
And one thing it kind of reminds me of, like a mix between like what are the two space movies I'm thinking of?
Someone on YouTube sent me that it reminds him two movies. The first one was 2001 from Stanley Kubrick. No, A Space Odyssey.
Oh yeah.
And I don't
see the comment right here.
Second one that he mentioned.
Yeah, I'm reading the comment right now. 2001: A Space Odyssey and Solaris. I don't know that.
It was that.
Oh yeah, Sunspace Studio. Yeah, he's a pretty good filmer.
The movie which inspired me for this entry is Apollo 13. I don't know if you saw it.
That movie's great.
That movie is
one of my best, so I was very inspired by this one.
Oh, I love that film. Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta watch it.
As soon as you started playing the soundtrack, I was like, yes,
it's that. Astro Alarm. I love it.
Yeah, good space theme. And thank you for not doing the Blue Danube waltz. Like it's a little old. Yeah, do. It's over and over. Yeah, props in the soundtrack. Okay, Interstellar. That was the one I was thinking of. This one feels a lot like Interstellar.
Interstellar. That's what I said.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the standard's been it's been great. I mean, there's loads we haven't even mentioned. I mean, the right of Tenochtitlan.
Tenochtitlan.
Yes, there you go.
I think I probably just butchered that beyond compare, but
not as much as me.
Yeah. This one's pretty stark. It's really out there. The effects are pretty crazy, and it's pretty brutal. But the way he pulls it all together is really impressive.
Actually, an aspect I liked of this contest, and this is one of those controversial remarks, is the fact that we could use IPs, which was nice.
Oh, where's Austin and Matt when you need them?
Yeah. Trigger both of them. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's stifled creativity in this instance. So I think there's an argument to be had there. But
there's episode 9. Just watch that all go down. Yeah, that one is pretty stark, but it worked out pretty well, which is sweet. I think of other ones I've seen here as well.
While Chris is looking through that, MD Studios, have you got any projects you're currently working on you'd like to speak about at all?
New projects? I think that Chris was making a TV show, no? A sort of show, no?
Oh, you mean
I love this with the two characters.
Oh, Bob and Randy.
But, yeah, this one. For when is the future episode of this story?
Funny enough, I was thinking about that this morning. I might get some more filming done. Yeah, I got the first scene done, and then the last scene done, and then I was talking with what's his name? Jared. There we go.
No, what's his name?
Yeah, what's his? It was he. I'm trying to poke fun at Jared because I can. I already fired some shots at Trevor, Austin, and Matt. At least Jared. But yeah, so hoping to finish that up soon. But yeah, we'll figure out how that goes once contest season wraps up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm blanking on the other entry I wanted to look into. But for the record, we got like 22 entries here. Trevor is working on his 23rd, which is pretty insane. Yeah. And just still going strong on the contest. When do you guys think that judging and results are gonna come out? I know it's always a tricky question.
It's a good question.
I don't know when they're going to come. You have an answer to this, Maxou?
We will try to do it until the 22, I think. We will try.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
That is, I guess. Also, you guys have got like over double your entries from. So, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know how long the other contests have taken and stuff, but it's similar numbers.
Well, no, like Thack took a month. Shaq was a couple weeks. The summer contest felt unbearably long, but then again, it had a whole bunch of entries there, so I can't really give them too much crap. But while we're talking judging, do you guys know about any of the other MBS see your comment? I'm not going to repeat on the podcast. I don't want to make
no, not this one. It's just for us. It's in private. Please.
I'll keep the secret. And while we're talking about that, other judges. Do you have any idea who the other judges are going to be? Who we need to bribe?
The members of the jurors are going to be the members of the staff who don't participate at the contest.
Yeah. And it's a bit complicated because we have French entry and English entry, so we need to find a person who understands the both. So it's
yes,
it's a bit complicated. But
we are going to find no problems. We are going to be judged and to get your ship in the bottle.
Yep, you hear that, Tom? You're going down.
Yeah, I did think I saw Chris as a moderator, and I was like, I wonder if Chris is a judge in this. And I was like, nah, he wouldn't be a judge. That's great.
I'm not allowed to join the jury if I enter. But you know what? If for some reason there's a future bric-a-brac contest I just can't enter, I can just judge then. It'll be fun.
Yeah, get your French dictionary out, dust it off.
I need to learn French is what I need to do.
Yeah.
Funny side story, since we're both on and off topic. When I was little, my grandmother used to live with us, and she was born and raised in Belgium, and then ended up living in South Africa. And she still spoke French like a whole lot. And when I was little, she tried to speak only French to me, so I would try to pick up on it. Because like some kids, they can pick up on multiple languages when they're little. If one person's speaking only language A and the other person's only speaking only language B. Unfortunately, it didn't work though. I'm gonna have to learn French, the hard way. Books and CDs and see how that goes.
If you want to learn French. Take a look on the French brick films.
Yeah,
it's the best way to learn. Personally, when I watch every brick films in the English sides of bric-a-brac, I feel better for my English. But my English isn't bitter.
You guys are doing pretty well.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, definitely. I mean, props to these guys as well, because I definitely couldn't go on a podcast and try and speak not my first language for an hour. There. I mean, yeah, definitely props. But this is why I think bric-a-brac is so great and potentially has an edge on other sites as well, because you can pick up a language just by having fun and making films with your friends, and it doesn't feel like learning. And I think that's the beauty of it.
Indeed, just bringing everyone together.
It's going to make me cry. Take your ship in a bottle. Take your ship in a bottle.
Hi, you hear that, Tom?
I'll be
Tom.
I'll be waiting by the left.
Next episode, Tom has a ship on a bottle on his shelf, and I'm here.
If I bug the ship in a bottle, I could take him and do that. Take the ship in a bottle.
It's like, hey, you can't give that away. That's a contest prize. Too late. Too late.
Yes. Too late.
Yeah. But now with that, and 8x8, while it's about animation and having fun and stuff, the prizes, those are pretty sweet.
Yeah, dude, I opened up the prizes tab and I was like, wow, these guys aren't messing around.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I could get in on this.
Yeah, which it's I forget the acronym, but it's recognized Lego fan media, right? Is that
No.
name for it?
Now we are recognized Lego online community. Lego create another state. Yeah. Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget the acronym. Yep. Yeah, but for those of you here in the chat who don't know what that means, it means that these guys in Lego, they talk. When Maxou goes into the scary boardroom and he says, "All right, here's how it's going to be," which means
now I'm waiting for my
happens.
Yeah, we have good relation with Lego, so it's really cool.
Yes. I'm just waiting my ticket, my free ticket to go in the Lego house. It isn't possible yet. We aren't in a partnership with them for that.
Make like the Brick-a-Brack moderator retreat or something. Congratulations, Brick-a-Brack! You're the coolest brick film place ever. You get to go to Lego house, and just like, cool, we'll do it.
Yes, we're going to make a big brick film in the Lego house.
Oh wow, that would be awesome.
Oh wow, Chris, you don't need a warehouse. You just need to get everyone to the Lego house.
There we go. Yeah, that'd be better.
I'm taking my car.
Yeah, this big enough of space, and they've done lock-in events before. Actually,
there's a lot of Legos.
There we are. Like, we would have everything there, and I'm pretty sure everyone there would be no one bumping my set too, so that'd be great. In fact, I'm trying to remember where it was at. I think Brickset had a contest where the winner, got to go over to the Lego house and stay at the house for the night and meet all the staff and stuff, which was pretty crazy.
It's interesting.
Yep. So I have no clue how that went down, but it went down.
I'm imagining Brick-a-Brack, all the community in the Lego house. It looks like a scholar trip, something like that. A big school trip, with the little picnics.
That would be the best. All right, we got to get on this. We got to get to work.
Yeah, big school bus.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, here it is. A Night in the Lego House report. So,
I remember that actually. You just sparked the memory.
Yeah, it was an Airbnb competition to win a night in the Lego house, and actually, it wasn't Brickset's competition, but a Brickset member won the competition, and so they did this whole tour of the house, and they were just hanging out there, and it looks like it was just super fun. So now we need to do this, but with brick filmers.
Okay.
I don't know how that would work, but we can bribe the right people, I'm sure.
It's the Brick Filmers Guild. Hello.
Hi guys. How's it going? Yep. Okay, now something I'm starting to realize, because topic is no longer a thing. It seems like there's quite a few different people who jump on the chat towards the end, and I'm asking myself, did we get the wrong time again on the description? I mean, people can they can stop by whenever they want. It's great. I love it. But I keep thinking in the back of my head, did we put down the wrong time again or something?
Yes.
It's freaking me out.
Time zone changes. Yeah.
Yep. Which For the record, I'm glad that both the UK and the US are now on daylight savings or whatever equivalent. Otherwise, you, Tom, would probably be very tired.
Yeah. Although I've got a pack to go back to university and finish a set before I go to bed tonight, so it's gonna be a late one. It's gonna be a late one. Sorry, I just get on one of Jared's streams.
Break filming. Sweet. Oh, streaming while dreaming. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're probably heading towards the end of this episode, Chris. Yeah, you reckon?
Yep. Frame100 bric-a-brac 8x8 casual hangout.
It's
too long.
Like
too many syllables.
It's like that meme going around. What is it? It's like Disney is saying that Infinity War is the most ambitious team up of all time.
Yes! I love it. I know where you're going, and I love it.
We've got the Frame100 and bric-a-brac right here.
Nice. Best crossover 2018.
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, before we all sign off, just to make sure, Maxou, MB, do you guys, if people want to follow you on social media, where should they look for you?
Bric-a-brac.
Bric-a-brac. There you go.
Go straight to the source.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, that kind of thing.
Bric-a-brac has a Twitter, right? I believe it does.
Yeah, we have Twitter and we have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
And also the bric-a-brac Discord chat. If you're not on that, you should definitely join. A lot of fun.
Oh, dude,
yes, a lot of fun on the Discord chat.
We are everywhere.
Bric-a-brac is everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Bric-a-brac is watching you.
Yeah, we could come to your house and break your legs, am I right?
With the 2 B letters, it's perfect. Big brother are watching you, oh my god.
Oh, wow.
It looks like a dystopia now.
That is both hilarious and terrifying.
More colors than that.
On that super scary note, Tom, take us out.
Okay, everyone. Thank you very much for sitting in and listening to Season 3, Episode 8 of the Frame100 Podcast. I've been joined by our very, very gracious guests for their time, Maxou and MBStudios.
Yes, it's that. Don't forget me, it's good.
Hey, when did you get on here?
Hey, these guys.
Who are you?
I'm saying it now. Best T-shirt combination of 2018. Yes. I love it. It's red and blue as well. It's perfect. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Me and Chris been this week. Maybe next week we'll have a couple more hosts. Hopefully, same time, same place, same day. And I guess I don't know what the topics will be, but yeah, it'll be a fun one. Hopefully. Thanks for chilling with us, Chris. You got anything to finish with?
I think next week we're talking about brick films.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, a couple last minute notes. Trevor, your entry done? Like right now? Or you're fired. And we'll take away your dental.
Gotta keep them working.
Yep, crack the whip.
Thanks very much, everyone. Have a good week.
Bye.